Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. I'm Gabby Bernstein. I'm the #1 New York Times bestselling author of The Universe Has Your Back, the founder of the Miracle Membership. I'm welcoming all of you who are new. To all the spirit junkies out there, welcome back, because you've been with me for a while. But if you're new to me, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have so many people that have joined us for this awesome webinar. I'm so thrilled that you're here. And this is such an important time to really get grounded in our belief systems, to show up for what we desire, and to make some radical change. And I know for myself, I've been looking back on 16 thinking, I'd like to change a lot about what went down last year. So if you're ready to put 2016 behind you, I am thrilled that you're here. And this is the New Year Breakthrough webinar. And I loved that I had this tagline that was the only resolution that matters. And the only resolution you'll ever need. Didn't that get you excited? I know that that was something that I felt would be very exciting for people, because each year I always would have this long list of different resolutions I needed to add to my new year and all these expectations of myself. And I've come to understand that there's actually only one resolution that really matters. And I'm going to share that with you today. And I'm so pumped that you're here to get it and you're here to go big in 2017. And so many of you sent in questions. I've cultivated a handful of your questions that I know are probably resonant for everyone. So some were very, very specific. And I wanted to pick out the questions that were really going to just resonate with each person that's watching today, no matter where you are on your spiritual journey or no matter where you are on your personal growth journey. You may not be on a spiritual path at all and just looking for some guidance. And that's perfect. You're in the right place. So high five to you all and give each other some love in the chat and say hi. And let's get going. Okay, so the first question that I wanted to begin with begins the process that I want to share today. So I wanted to open with this specific question from a young woman called Rachel. And Rachel says, each year I set a resolution that I stick to for a week or two, and I feel great. But after a while, I forget about it, and I go back to my old ways. And I know that I want to change this, but for some reason, I can't actually make it last. Doesn't that sound familiar? You get on that New Year's resolution bandwagon, you make the change for a week or two, and you just fall off. You can't make it stick. So today on this webinar, I'm going to take you through my step-by-step process of how there's only one resolution that matters. And I'm going to offer this resolution, and I'm going to teach you how to cultivate that resolution in your day-to-day life, not just for the first week of January, but for the rest of your life. I believe in creating long-lasting, permanent change. And I'm going to offer that up to you today. I'm sure all of you in some way identify with Rachel, and you can see yourself in that story of getting excited about the new year, jumping into it, and then a week or two later, just falling off. And I think there's crazy statistics about what happens the second week in January. And all of the people just fallen off, the gyms are empty, and we lose sight of that momentum that we had in the new year. I also want to make sure that you stick around all the way to the end, because not only am I going to offer the #1 resolution that matters, the only resolution that matters, the steps to get there. There's 5 steps to activate that resolution, but there's also a massive, exciting announcement that I'm giving at the end of this. So I don't want you to miss any of that. Make sure you stick around to the end. There's a major announcement, big news in Gabby's world. And it's going to be the final step in your process of making your resolution stick. So make sure you stick around all the way to the end and stay with me. Okay, so what is the only resolution that matters? What is it that can help Rachel and all of you make that long-lasting change and not fall off of the resolution bandwagon after 2 weeks? What is it that can help you stay consistent on your path and feel the energy and the momentum always with you and feel like you're taking the next right action even if things aren't perfect? What is it? So I've got this one specific resolution that I believe is the mother of all resolutions, and it is the key to creating long-lasting change. And it's not about losing the weight because you're overeating or because you're wanting to let go of something. It's not about changing your career because you're not happy with your work. It's not about quitting alcohol It's about getting to the bottom of why you're overeating in the first place. It's about getting to the root cause of why you're dissatisfied in your career. And it's about getting to the reason you're picking up the drink and over drinking and becoming into alcoholic behavior. What is the core belief system? What is the wound underneath that is leading you into these addictive patterns and poor behaviors? So this is not a webinar on how to quit the drink or how to quit the overeating or how to change the job. All of those changes will be the effect of the internal healing that must occur first. So the only resolution that matters is the resolution to heal the wound underneath the pattern, to heal the limiting belief system that lives underneath the reason you pick up that drink, or that lives underneath the reason that you open that refrigerator and you binge, or the reason underneath your dissatisfaction in your career and the feelings that you have no purpose in this life. And so all of those patterns, behaviors are stemming from a root cause condition. And the only resolution that matters, my friends, is to heal the root cause wound. And so that, my hope, is after this webinar, you're going to walk away and say, my resolution is to get to the bottom of why I act out in all these ways. Rather than just trying to heal the actual act, heal the wound that lives beneath it. And each and every one of us have traumas and stories and belief systems that we have built up that have created a world that we perceive to be our experience of life. And there's also a lot of fear and uncertainty and limitation and doubt. And in many ways, we run from that fear. We run from that limitation. We run from that doubt. And when we're running, we run through overeating. We run by avoiding. We run by drinking. We run by playing small. We run by judging others. We run. And then the goal for this year is to stop running. The way that you will create that long-lasting change, the way that you will stay consistent with your diet, the way that you will make that change in your career, the way that you will put down that drink, the way that you will end that relationship that you know is not right for you, is by getting to the root cause condition that lives underneath it. And I know this is big stuff, but I'm going to expect a lot from you, because if you want to go big in your life, you have to have the willingness to unearth what is holding you back. So I'm going to give you some beautiful steps on holding you back, and on how to stop holding yourself back and start stepping into the creative, long-lasting change that you want to create in this lifetime. And I have been prescribing this throughout the past year, so now I can live to tell that it works, and that by getting to the root cause, you can heal the condition of the pattern that you no longer want to live in. So I'm going to give you an example. One of my resolutions has been for a long time to eat slower. And I started to realize that chewing 30 times with every bite wasn't going to freaking work. That was not the answer. Counting days to, of how many days I've spent not overeating, that wasn't enough. That abstinence wasn't enough. There wasn't enough for me in just this feeling of getting beyond this pattern, or just working through the addictive pattern by sheer will. There had to be something much more. I had to get underneath the reason and the pattern of why it was that I was picking up that fork and just eating so quickly. And I had to look at what was the wound that lived beneath the pattern. And through my own spiritual development, the practices that I'm going to share with you today, I unearthed that there was something very uncomfortable that I was running from. Feelings of fear, feelings of childhood wounds, feelings of not being good enough. And when I would pick up that fork and I would overeat, it was because I was too afraid to slow down. And through my discovery process that I'm going to share with you today, I was able to unearth that limiting belief system that was keeping me in the pattern of overeating. The overeating wasn't just an annoying habit that I picked up along the way. It was my way of running from my core wound. And if I was going to change this once and for all, I had to stick to the only resolution that matters, which is healing the wound that lives beneath the pattern. So this acknowledgement that I am afraid to slow down was the first step, is step one, which I've written here, what is the core limiting belief or wound underneath the bad habit or behavior? And so some of those examples are, I'm not good enough, I'm afraid to slow down. In my case, it's not safe, I'm not feeling safe, I need to protect myself. So when you pick up that drink, or you start overeating, or you sleep instead of working out, whatever it is that you're doing is a way of running from facing that truth, facing that discomfort. And so that apathy, that addiction, that behavior, that lack mentality is all based on a core belief system that is keeping you stuck. And that core belief system, in many ways, we've learned to rely on. And we rely on that fear-based belief system and that wounded place as a way of staying safe, avoiding the greatness of what we could step into, avoiding disappointment, avoiding, maybe what would we be if we let go of this pattern. And so what happens for us is we get so stuck in these behaviors and these stories that they become our experiences, and they become the patterns that each year, January 1st, we say, my resolution is, and then we fall off that wagon 2 weeks later because we're not addressing the root cause of the pattern and the behavior. So I want you to start to take just a moment right now, and I hope you have a notebook in front of you. You're obviously in front of your computer. Open up a little Evernote or something and just take a little note for yourself and write down, what are some of the core limiting beliefs or wounds that live underneath your bad habit? And I think you know what they are. And if you're like, I have no idea, you can put it in the chat. You can let us know. We're going to support you no matter what. But try to get to the bottom of it. Try to just see whatever's the first thing that comes to your mind is exactly as it needs to be. What's the first thing that pops into your mind? Is it that I wasn't loved as a child, or I wasn't taken care of, or I feel unsafe, or I eat because I'm afraid to slow down, or I drink because I'm afraid of not being good enough and I don't have enough confidence? What is the belief system that's lingering for you? It may have nothing to do with the pattern, by the way. It's just a belief system that's up for you and up for you and up for you. And you use all these patterns to avoid feeling that feeling, to avoid dealing with that belief system and that limitation and that discomfort. And so you anesthetize all your discomfort by acting out in all these unique and innovative ways. And our ego, our fear mind, is so creative and so smart. And for many years, it was the way that we stayed alive, the way that we felt we could survive this discomfort. But you guys wound up here, and you're ready to let it go, and you're ready to put it on the table and just say, I am committed to letting this change occur in my life. And so I trust that you're in a place of a desire to make some momentum and some shifts in your experience, okay? That's where I'm at right now. All right, so that's step one. Looking at that example, what is the core limiting belief or wound underneath the bad habit or behavior? And so I've given you some examples. I'm not good enough. I'm afraid to slow down. It's not safe to be me. I need to protect myself. Just giving yourself some great examples. And I'm going to keep track of where we are. I want to make sure I get to all these different beats. So Allison, who's my assistant that's on the other end of this, Allie, just shoot me a little note about where we are on time, so or when we began, so I can make sure I don't miss any of these beats and I can really honor the time with us today. All right, so that's step one. If you're like, I can't even figure out step one, don't worry, because we're going to unearth it in the next coming steps. So just honor whatever is up for you. Allie, you can just email me wherever we are for time. Okay, awesome. Just keeping me in the time clock here. So let's honor the places and the wounds and the stories and the belief systems. And so maybe you want to share some of your wounds. I mean, listen, some of you are so brave. I see such brave people in my lectures and my webinars, and they get on the chats, they get out in the audiences, and just start throwing it out there. Just let me know what is up for you. Let's just put that stuff out there. Be honest with yourself. Tell someone, sometimes when we say publicly, this is what I'm running from, or if we say that to ourselves, even just through a silent acknowledgement, that is the first step in taking the next right action to heal the root cause condition. And it's that root cause condition that is the reason we stay stuck in these patterns. It's the reason that we play small. It's the reasons that we avoid. It's the reasons that we run. So I want you to stay committed and connected to all of the energy and momentum that's moving through you right now. And right now you're in that January 2-week time frame. You're ready to go big. You're ready to rise up. You're ready to step into something greater this year. And so I want you to really honor all that readiness and make a commitment. So writing that first step out, what is the core limiting belief or wound that lives underneath the bad habit or behavior? So you may actually have a specific time in your life, the time when I was told I was stupid, or the time that I was told I wasn't good enough, or the time, whatever it is, write it down, get real with it. You don't have to share it with anybody. It can be just for you. You can put it in the chat, whatever feels appropriate for you. Okay. Step 2. Look closely at your behavior and the feelings underneath. So I'm going to give you some questions to answer right now. So just take out your notebook and your pen and get ready to answer these questions in real time. Just take out your notebook. I'll give you a second to get everything ready, notebook and pen, and get ready to answer these questions in real time. So the first question is, when you think about this limiting belief or this wound, how does it make you feel? Just write some notes. Maybe just write a few bullets, a few sentences, take some notes. So when I think about what it means to slow down, right? My limiting belief is I'm afraid to slow down. And when I think about what it meant to slow down, I would say it makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel nervous. It makes me feel like I have to run from it. It makes me feel scared and terrified. And so give it some language. Does it do something to your physical body? Does it make you feel nauseous or sick or angry? Does it make you want to act out? Does it make you want to fight back? Take a minute to write down, how does it make you feel when you think about that core wound? A lot of you might say, it makes me want to run. You might think, I don't want to deal with that. I think that's a lot of the responses I get. I don't want to deal with that. I'm going to push it down, right? No, thank you. I don't want to deal with that. So let's get honest about what that looks like. What does it make you do? That's the next question. What does it make you do? So I want you to list out all the ways that that limiting belief and that feeling of discomfort makes you act out. What does it make you do? Does it make you overeat? Does it make you drink too much? Does it make you play small? Does it make you have sex with people you don't want to have sex with? Does it make you say poor things to yourself and judge yourself? Does it make you judge others? A lot of times when we have discomfort around something or we don't want to feel something, one of the biggest ways that we anesthetize our feelings is by judging others, by putting it out onto somebody else. And so that judgment towards somebody else is a great way that we can avoid dealing with our own stuff. So take a moment and make a list. How does it make you feel? I'm going to give you a moment. How does it make you feel? Take that in, get honest, get real. How does it make you feel? What does it make you do? Question number 2. What does it make you do? So let's get both of those answers down. How does it make you feel and what does it make you do? So listing out all the ways that you act out as a result of this behavior. What does it make you do? All right, then how does the feeling keep you stuck? That's the next one I want you to answer. How does that feeling keep you stuck? So it keeps me stuck in a pattern, keeps me stuck because I'm afraid of speaking up, keeps me stuck because I'm afraid of change, keeps me stuck because I don't believe I can change. Make a list. How does it keep you stuck? So get honest, get real, look closely at the ways that it keeps you stuck. And then the final question in step 2, the step about looking closely at the behavior and the feelings underneath, are to really ask yourself, am I fed up with this? Am I ready to change? Am I ready to change this feeling, these actions, this feeling of stuckness? Am I fed up? Am I ready to change? And if you want to just give me a little amen in the chat, just throw it at me. I want to see you guys just come in, send me some messages, show me what you're feeling. Tell me what's up. My team is all in there. They're going to be encouraging you throughout the entire webinar. So just send them some love. Tell them, are you done? Are you fed up? Are you ready to change? This is step 2. looking closely at the behavior behind the feeling. Are you fed up? Are you done? Let me know. I bet you are. I know that you wouldn't be here if you weren't, because if you were feeling complete and totally comfortable with all the dramas in your life, you wouldn't have signed up for this webinar. You wouldn't be following me. You wouldn't even know anything about this stuff. So the fact that you're here means you're fed up. It means that there's a voice within you that's saying, this is my year. I'm ready to finally get to the root cause of this condition. I'm ready to change. I know that this is my time. And that feeling of being fed up is a miracle. That feeling of being fed up is a powerful force. It's a powerful force field of energy that will propel you forward. It will propel you forward in such a massive way. So I want you to own that. Get clear. What does it feel like? Are you ready to let it go? And are you ready to not be stuck anymore? Just own that. Own it for yourself. All right, step 3, become willing to heal it. So that desire, I'm fed up, I'm ready to change, that's bringing us into this next step. Become willing to heal it. Now, I've seen a lot of people come to me saying, you know, so-and-so is an addict and I want to get them into recovery, or I have a friend who's in this relationship and I want to help them get out of it. And my response is, if they don't want to, they won't. And that was the same for me. I got sober 11 years ago, and it took me about 6 or 7 months to actually get to the place where I wanted recovery. And until I wanted it and truly wanted it, it wasn't going to happen. So I'm asking you today, do you really want it? Are you really willing to heal it? And sometimes if you're not sure if you're ready, prayer is the step. Praying for healing rather than praying for change. So you may be praying like, I want to pray every day. I want to put down the drink or the drug, or I'm going to pray every day. I want to stop, you know, doing this pattern. But really what we need to be praying for is true healing. Every day I kept praying. God, help me stop overeating. Stop overeating. Thank you for helping me to no longer overeat. Thank you for helping me no longer overeat. And it wasn't the prayer. The prayer was always being answered, but the real prayer was what needed to come through, which was the prayer of, thank you for helping me heal. And what I came to realize was that my prayer for changing this pattern was a request asking, hey, can this issue of overeating and eating too fast just miraculously disappear? Thank you, God, for taking it away from me, making it disappear. But really underneath that, I was praying for true healing, because the universe, God, will give you what you need to heal. It won't just take something away. I mean, yes, of course, there are plenty of instances where you pray for something and it is removed, but that's what's of the highest good for you. So when we're in the prayer of whatever is of the highest good for my healing and my growth, then what we need will be presented to us. And so for me, in that prayer of I want to get rid of this, I was really praying for healing. And what happened was, as the universe would have it, I got terrible acid reflux in August. And because of this reflux, the reflux came because of the eating too fast at night and going to sleep and creating, and all the stress and the tension and the stuff that I wasn't dealing with, the feelings I was not willing to let come up, or the feelings that were still lingering and still needed to come up even though I was willing. And so my body presented me with this beautiful root cause condition coming up, acid reflux, and I was forced by the grace of God to show up for the healing process, and not just show up for it from the perspective of changing my food habits, but show up for it from the perspective of changing the root cause condition that lived underneath it. And so I put myself on a really beautiful healing path, which not only helped me start learning how to take my time with my meals, but mainly helped me get to the feelings I was having before I would start the meal. Because I was forced to heal because fire was coming up and I didn't want to feel that way anymore. And so that was a beautiful spiritual assignment for me to get into the work and heal the condition. And so I took the steps that I needed to take physically and emotionally to create this longer lasting change. And so not only would I be forced to eat more slowly, but more importantly, I would honor myself and ask myself, what is it that I need to show up for? What is it that I need to heal? What is it that is within me that needs to be felt before I start this meal? So I want you to just take a moment to think about the ways that you may have been praying for this change to occur, but instead, how can we begin to pray for the healing to begin? How can we begin to pray for this healing process to be bestowed upon us? And so I want you to see the shift in that, the shift from praying for, I need this to go away, and instead shifting to the prayer, I'm ready to heal what is underneath it. I'm ready to heal the root cause condition. And so when we say those prayers, we're going to be given a lot of guidance. And in my case, the guidance came in the form of acid reflux. And then the guidance continued to come. The guidance came in the form of great practitioners and healers and guides that would help me get to the root cause of the condition so that I could feel free in my belly and my esophagus, and also free in my heart. And that was the process. So that prayer led me, even though it was an uncomfortable situation, it led me to the healing process. And sometimes when those of us, particularly those of us like myself, who can be very stubborn for change at times, sometimes things have to get a little bit uncomfortable before the change occurs. And we have to trust that that is the guidance that we're receiving from a divine order and from a great source. And that when we show up for that guidance with our heart and with our soul, we will be given the next right action. So your prayer now, as I pray for healing, rather than I pray for this to go away, and if you don't believe in prayer, just use it as an intention every day. I intend to heal. I intend to heal what's living underneath this bad habit or this pattern. I'm ready to release the pattern now. And so getting into that prayer for healing will be the way that you open up to receive more guidance. And that guidance is going to come in fun and innovative ways. In my case, my body was guiding me. And it guided me to become more willing because I was physically uncomfortable. And I had to show up for the root cause condition, but I also had to show up for the emotional and spiritual condition and the physical condition. And so I'm very proud to say that I'm a month now off of all the medication, and I've, through my spiritual practice and some of the lessons that I'm going to give you in the next few steps, I've healed the root cause condition, or I'm healing the root cause condition. And I notice if I feel a little acid reflux come up, I ask myself, what is it that I'm feeling right now? How was it that I ate my last meal? Was I unconscious about how I was eating because I was feeling uncomfortable? And I'll get really brutally honest with myself. What's up for me right now? And I'll use the tools that are coming. So I'm proud to say that I've healed that pattern that I continue to work on, the same resolution that matters, which is healing the root cause condition. And it's a practice that I'm going to continue to bring forth for the rest of my life, because like anything, we can fall off if we forget. And so being in the presence of what is it that I'm feeling that's making me eat so fast? What is it that I'm feeling that's making me make the wrong food choices? And being in that feeling and honoring that feeling. And so one of the greatest ways to honor that feeling is through a practice that I've been cultivating for the past 5 years now, and it's called emotional freedom technique, and otherwise known as tapping. And some of you have seen that I've been tapping on my other webinars, I've been tapping on my Facebook Live, and this is something that I wanted to give you today, because when we're wanting to get to the root cause of the discomfort, or wanting to get to the feelings of not being good enough, or the feelings of struggle, or the feelings of sickness, or the feelings of doubt or insecurity, those feelings are a reaction, a response to a disturbance in our energy field. When something happens to us, whether it's a traumatic event or a story or a experience of somebody saying something to us that made us feel not good enough, or maybe we were physically injured, or something that happened to us that traumatized us in some way, there's an energetic disturbance. That energetic disturbance creates an emotional pattern. And so a lot of times we think that we need to just like heal the emotional pattern and it will go away. But really what needs to happen is we need to heal the energetic disturbance that lives underneath that pattern, right? So that's what we're talking about today. We need to not just heal the pattern, we need to heal the root cause, the energetic disturbance. And so I want to do this practice of tapping. What EFT tapping does is it gets to the root, which is the disturbance, the energy disturbance. It heals that disturbance, and that gives you the freedom to begin again and be fresh and new. And in many cases, this practice within 10 minutes can help people get over phobias that they've had for a decade. It can help you heal wounds that you've been carrying for a lifetime. And if practiced regularly, can really lower your cortisol levels, get you out of that fight or flight state, can get you out of that chronic shock syndrome that many of us live in, and it can release us from the traumas and the dramas of our life, and we can start to feel free. And in that place of freedom, we no longer need to pick up the food or pick up the drink or pick up the love or whatever it is that we're addicted to, okay? So tapping is a beautiful practice. It's like acupuncture and psychology coming together. And you tap on these different energy meridians, these different acupressure points, and it's the top of the head, the side of the eye, the eyebrow point, that little bone right there between your nose and your eyebrow, the side of the eye, under the nose, the chin, the collarbone, under your arm, and back to the top of your head. We begin tapping with the karate chop point. And so while you tap, we're going to do a few rounds of tapping on the issue. And I've come up with an issue that I believe is sort of the most pressing issue for all of us. It's sort of a universal issue, which is our struggle to change. And so for the sake of today, you can make this more specific when you revisit this video later if you want to continue your own tapping process. For the sake of today, I wanted to use the most pressing issue, which we all share and we've all been holding, which is I struggle to change. I struggle to change. And so what we do when we begin the tapping process is we rate that most pressing issue from a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest. And the reason that we rate the MPI, the most pressing issue, is because there's this thing called the apex effect, which means if for some reason you didn't rate it, you could tap for 10 minutes and you could go from a 10 to a 2, but if you don't rate it ahead of time, you'll literally, your brain will play jokes, pretend as though you've just miraculously it's gone, or I never had a problem in the first place. And so we want to rate it so we know where we were and we know where we're going, and at the end we can celebrate how far we've come. And so I want you now, if you're in the chat, just throw in some lines of are you in 0, are you a 10? And I'm sure we're going to see lots of 7s and 8s and 10s with this most pressing issue. I struggle to change. I struggle to change. And my team, Jessica and Allison, will be in there. They're encouraging you up there and just giving you lots of love. So the story is I struggle to change. And from 0 to 10, where are you with that most pressing issue? I struggle to change. And so for me today, I'm probably still at like a 5 with my most pressing issue, even though I've been doing a lot of work on this and I've gotten myself down. I think there's still, this lingering fears of what if I fall back on it or what's going to happen. And so I'm sure many of you are probably at a 10, 9, 8, 7. Those higher places are completely normal, and let's start there, and that's a perfect place to tap from. So I struggle to change whatever the habit is for you. Each of us has our own specific change that we're struggling with. And what we're going to do is we're going to tap 3 times on the MPI, and we're going to tap on that karate chop point. And then I'm going to take you through all the different meridians while we tap on some negative rounds. While we tap on how uncomfortable it is to change, how hard it is to change, how scared we are to change, all the things that are up for us around change. And then once we start to feel a little bit of relief, which I can't work with you directly because thousands of you are beyond the computer screen, but I'm going to tap into when I start to feel a little relief, we're going to move into the positive rounds. And those positive rounds clean up all the mess and they bring us back into a centered place. So I'm going to give you this tapping exercise. We'll probably tap for 5 to 10 minutes maybe. And in that time, I'm going to allow you to just let whatever is up come up. Feel where you're at. Feel the feelings of discomfort. You may cry. Don't be surprised if a lot of emotion comes over you. And just be present with what it is. Before we tap, I want everybody to share in the chat where they are, the most pressing issue, I struggle to change. From a 0 to a 10, where are you? I'm thinking Allison's telling me it's coming through. So just type it in, let it come in. My team will be encouraging you. From a scale of 0 to 10, where are you? 0 to 10. And I was at a 10 when I first began this process. I brought myself down to a 0. And then sometimes you might slip back up because you start to get nervous. It's the new year. Am I going to stick to my change? But we can always tap it down and tap it down and tap it down. And in many cases, you can have one session of tapping and bring your 10 to a 0 and never turn back. And I'm going to hold that for you all today to have a quantum shift around this change. So our most pressing issue is I struggle to change. And I want you to repeat after me and follow me and tap on all these different specific meridians that I'm tapping on and just follow my process. And I'm going to go slowly so that you can repeat after me. So let's start tapping on the karate chop point. tapping on that karate chop point. And if you're watching this in a public place and you don't feel comfortable tapping right now, you can come back to the tapping later. You can watch us. You can watch the replay later and come back. We're going to be sending out that replay later tonight, so stay tuned. And our most pressing issue, I struggle to change. I struggle to change. And even though I struggle to change, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Repeat that after me. 2 more times. Even though I struggle to change, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And 1 more time, repeat after me. Even though I struggle to change, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Top of the head, I'm so afraid to change. Eyebrow, I just can't change. Side of the eye, every year I try to change and I fall off. Under the eye, it's very frustrating. Repeating after me, it's so frustrating. I can't change. It's so freaking frustrating. And I really want to change. Continue to repeat after me. I want to change. But I can't. I keep falling off. I stick to it for 2 weeks and I fall off. I feel like a failure. I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like I can't change. Who would I be if I changed? What would happen if I made this change? Maybe I'm afraid to change. I think underneath it, I'm afraid to change. I'm a little scared of who I would be if I made this change. I'm actually terrified of who I would be if I made this change. I'm terrified of who I would be if I made this change. Who would I be if I made this change? And what if I don't stick to it? Because I never do. Because I never do. I feel like a failure year after year, month after month. I feel like a fucking failure. I'm mad about that. I'm mad that I feel like a failure. I'm fed up with this issue. I'm really, really fed up with this issue. I'm really, really ready to see things be differently. I'm ready to feel better. I'm ready to change. I want to change. I don't want to be mad at myself anymore. I don't want to judge myself anymore. I don't want to fail anymore. I want it to last. I want it to last. But I'm scared that it won't. And that fear keeps me stuck. That fear keeps me small. But I'm here today. I'm on this webinar today. There's part of me that believes that there's change I can have. There's a little part of me that believes I can do it. There's part of me that believes that what I'm learning today might help me. Maybe that willingness is enough. That willingness actually is enough. I got here today. Man, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for being on this webinar today. I'm proud of myself for being on this webinar today. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to get to the root cause of the pain, the feelings of inadequacy, the feelings of not being good enough, the feelings of being small, the feelings of hiding, the feelings that make me run in the first place. I'm terrified of those feelings. But I know I have to let them out. I know I have to just honor them. I can honor them right now. I can honor them right now. I can honor them right now. Honoring those feelings is the only resolution I need. Honoring those feelings is the only resolution I need. I can trust that if I honor those wounds, I'll be given all the direction I need, and I can apply these steps that Gabby's giving me so I can truly heal. I can truly heal. I am ready to truly heal. I am ready to heal once and for all. I am ready to heal once and for all. I believe in radical change. I believe I can have it. I know I can have it. I feel I can have it. I would not be here if I didn't believe I could have it. I really believe I can have it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I am ready for change. That feels so good. There's momentum behind me. I'm prepared for change. I believe in change. I believe in this process. I believe in myself. I believe I can change. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And tap into the feeling that you're feeling right now, 0 to 10. I struggle to change. How do you feel right now? Where are you? Let us know in the chat. I want to see those zeros and those 2s and those 3s. Maybe you went from a 10 to a 6 or a 10 to a 7. But many of you, I expect, have gone from a 10 to a 0, 10 to a 2, 10 to a 1. Show us, tell us where you're at. We're going to encourage you in that chat. My team is in there. They're going to send you so much love. Just feel it. Feel what's up for you. Feel what's coming through for you. Feel that connection, feel that belief system, feel that change. A lot of people say that they cry when they do the tapping, that they feel like their energy is moving. Sometimes I yawn when I tap because that's my nervous system just relaxing and just letting it out, right? Just creating that change, just having the willingness to let it go. And through that tapping process, you can just take yourself from a 10 to a 0, a 10 to a 2. I'm sure we're seeing a lot of that coming through right now. Let us know where you're at. I want to hear from you. And just celebrate that movement, that shift that occurs when you make that lowering of that most pressing issue, and you just let it come down. You let yourself release. You let yourself be free from it. And that freedom is just magnificent. It makes you feel so alive and so connected. And that's the purpose of this step of tapping. This is step 4 in the 5-step process that I've given you today. And so why don't I just recap the steps and then take you into the tapping and how you can continue doing it. And we're going to get to the 5th step. So step 1 is, what is the core limiting belief or wound underneath the habit? And you could also tap on that core belief and that core wound. For today, we had to tap on the MPI that we could all be in, which is we struggle to change. But what is it? Maybe you're feeling I'm not good enough, or you're feeling I'm afraid to slow down. Tap on that. What are you afraid of? I'm afraid to slow down. I'm afraid to slow down. I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to get things done, or I'm afraid that I'll be out of control. Let yourself tap through these issues and just follow these different points while you take yourself through the process of tapping. And so that's step 1. What is the core limiting belief or wound underneath the bad habit or the behavior? And step 2 is to look closely at your behavior and the feelings underneath it. And we had those series of questions, which I'll recap. How does it make you feel? What does it make you do? How does the feeling keep you stuck? And are you fed up? Letting yourself be fed up once and for all with this behavior. And then we had step 3, which is to become willing to heal the behavior. Praying for the healing rather than for the issue to be dissolved. Praying for the healing rather than for the issue to be dissolved. And then we've got the tapping. So we've tapped on this issue. We've tapped on the struggle. We've tapped on the discomfort. We've tapped on the pain. And then we've tapped ourselves into the energy and the momentum of where we want to be. And so when we just honor ourselves for that struggle and that suffering, so much more can come forward. And we can heal that distance, that feeling of dissociation, that feeling of energetic dissociation and feelings of disconnect, and we can dissolve that feeling and we can return to a place of peace. And so that disruptance in your energy gets healed as you practice the tapping. So I know this is being so good for you. I'm so excited to see all of you saying it's good. So that practice of tapping is miraculous. I tap every single day. You can tap on a minor annoyance, or you can tap on a lifelong trauma, and you'll have the same benefit. So and there may be issues that you want to continue to tap down each day, continue to tap it down, and when you get to a 0, you're complete. Move it along. It may linger back in some way, tap it down again. It may show up in another way, tap it down again. But just love yourself through this process. Just continue to love yourself through this process. And then we've got step 5. So if there's questions about the tapping, I'll answer them in the chat at some point when I go back and revisit these questions. So don't worry, I'll revisit the chat later and just tap back in and let you guys know where you're at. But the final step came, and there was a lot of questions that were quite similar to this woman, Samantha, who left this question in the earlier, when you guys submitted your questions before the webinar. And this question leads us perfectly into the final step. And Samantha said, I'm afraid to start another resolution this year because I always fall off and I get even more disappointed with myself. Then I spend the rest of the year beating myself up for not sticking to my resolution. Anybody doing that? Let's hear a, hey, yeah, that's me. Let's just hear it. Let me know. Be honest. I do this to myself. I get so mad at myself and upset with myself. And so while I've been putting myself through this 5-step process of the only resolution that matters, which is healing the core wound, this final step was absolutely crucial for me. It was life-changing. It was the bedrock of my spiritual practice and the foundation of my inner growth. And this is the most important part, which is to forgive the person that you were and accept who you are today. And so as we've now moved into the new year, it's 2017, we have to forgive who we were in 2016 and accept who we are today in 2017. Forgive who we were. Forgive the ways that we fell off our resolutions. Forgive the ways that we judged ourselves and others. Forgive the ways that we attacked ourselves and others. Forgive the ways that we abused our bodies and our minds. Forgive the things that we've done. Forgive the thoughts that we've had. Forgive the actions. Forgive it all. Forgive it all. Give it over. Give it over. Let's put it behind us. And so we don't want to carry that resentment towards ourselves into the new year, because that's another reason why we can't make our resolution stick. And if we're going to really honor the only resolution that matters, which is the resolution of really nurturing the core wounds and the limiting beliefs that live underneath all of that behavior and patterns and disruptive energy, then we've got to love ourselves fully and completely. We have to forgive ourselves in the most magnificent way. It has to be radical forgiveness, radical self-forgiveness. And it has to happen on such a deep level. And I hope you can feel that. I hope you can feel my enthusiasm for that. And I've written a few beats here for you. You did the best you could. You did the best you could with the limitations that you have had. You did the best you could with the limiting beliefs that you've been holding on to, and the challenges that you have faced, and the terror on the news, and the disruption of this election that just triggered everybody on both sides. And all that came up for us in 2016, you did the best you could. You did the best you could. I bow to you and I honor you. And I want you to take a moment to honor yourself for what you did and the best you could, and how great you are and how magnificent you are for the work that you did. You didn't realize you were running from fear. Maybe not until now, maybe not until this webinar, in this moment in time. You didn't realize that you were running from fear. You didn't realize that you were running and protecting yourself, and that all of that negativity and that judgment and those actions and that behavior and those addictions were just you protecting yourself from being uncomfortable and being in fear. And God bless yourself. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. You've been wounded and you felt fear. And in that fear, you felt like you had to run, and you did the best you could, and you didn't even know that you were running. So let's honor that and forgive yourself. You didn't even know that you were running. And it's safe to let go and forgive yourself is the last step I put here, which is that it's safe to let yourself be forgiven. It's far less safe to be in that resentment and that judgment forever. It's much more safe to just honor where you are and forgive. And so I made this my mantra. I forgive myself and I release who I used to be. I am new. So make that your mantra for this final step. I forgive myself and I release who I used to be. I am new. I forgive myself. How about I forgive myself and I accept myself? I release who I used to be. I am new. I forgive myself and I accept myself. I release who I used to be. I am new. Tweet that, put it out there, put it on your vision board, make it an Instagram image, get it out to the world. I forgive myself. I accept myself. I release who I used to be. I am new. Okay, so let me recap your steps for you, and then we're going to move into a few more questions. And then I've got a big reveal, so stick around for the big reveal. So step one, as we've heard, was to look closely at the behavior, was to look at the core limiting belief that lives underneath. Step two is to look closely at the behavior and the feelings underneath it. Step three, become willing to heal it. Step four, tap it and let it go. And step five is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself because you don't want to carry that resentment into the new year. You did the best you could. You didn't realize that you were running from fear, and it's safe to let go and forgive. And I know maybe many of you might even be just in tears hearing those words. It makes me very emotional to hear those words of, I did the best I could. I love myself. I did the best I could. I didn't know how to navigate, and I did the best I could. And I'm here. And I'm proud of myself for being here. And use your affirmation. I forgive myself and I accept myself and I release who I used to be. I am new. So good. All right. So I'm going to take a few more questions, and then I'm going to give you some really exciting news, because one of the big questions that kept coming through was, how do I stay consistent on my spiritual path? I start a meditation or a prayer and I always fall off. I also feel like there's so much information and guidance out there. How do I stick to my practice and stay consistent? And this came from Sarah. So Sarah's got this question. This was a question that I struggled with forever. It was always like, there's so much information, there's so many books, there's so many resources. I don't know how to cultivate it all. I wanted it all in one place. I wanted someone guiding me. I wanted to feel like I could be consistent on my path. And I was longing for that. And so I created it. I made it myself. And that's what it is. It's my miracle membership. And so a lot of you have been asking, how do I stay consistent on these practices? How do I feel that guidance and that support throughout the year? How do I stay committed to my spiritual path, or my personal growth path, whatever you refer to it as? And how do I stick to that meditation and not fall off? How does it stay interesting and exciting? Well, I made it so easy, so fun, and so simple for you to stay on your path with my miracle membership. It's a monthly membership subscription, and we only open it twice a year, sometimes only once a year. And right now it's open for the first time this year, and maybe the last. And we've opened it up to give you that consistent spiritual foundation. And what happens as a member of the miracle membership, we've got thousands of members, and what happens each month for our members is they log into their own beautiful portal, whether it's on their phone or their iPad or their computer, and they get a brand new podcast with a theme for the month. So each month has a theme. And so I create Powerful Change is the theme that's coming up in January. And so we have a theme each month. That theme has a podcast that I give that no one in the world gets to hear except for the miracle members. And it's a full breakdown similar to what I've given you today, with these step-by-step guidance on how to create change in your life, or how to heal a wound, or how to make more money and manifest more into your life. Or we've got months on relationships, or we have months that are focused on our relationship to food in our bodies. And so there's different topics every month. And then in addition to that podcast comes a brand new meditation, which I do guided meditation, or sometimes video of a Kundalini meditation, or I'll bring in some experts in my world to create meditations for you. And so you have a brand new meditation. You have old Gabby's greatest hits. So I've got all these archived talks from the past decade. And so you've got Gabby's greatest hits. So you'll get one of my archived talks that's sort of similar to the message that's coming through in that month's theme. And you'll get a beautiful piece of mantra art that you can share on social media, or you can post it on your vision board, and you can make that your mantra for the month. You get a forum where you can connect with the other members and support each other, start conversations, see how you can get support and how you can be of service to others, because sometimes one of the greatest ways to get out of your own way is to be of service to another human being. And you get 50% off of the majority of my digital courses. You get a discount code that you can use anywhere, anytime. Actually, inside the platform, you can click on all the products and you can just get them at 50% discount. Throughout the year, I do quarterly trainings for the Miracle members, so similar to this, but they're just for people in the Miracle membership, where I'll do a webinar training and I'll take questions live, and I'm just with you full on and enjoying every second of that training. And to top it off, each time I open it up, I offer a big bonus, and the bonus never continues again. This is the only time that this bonus will ever be seen. And it's a live event, a live half-day workshop in February 11th. And the workshop is called How to Live a Miraculous Life. And it's live in New York City and on live stream. Anyone in the Miracle membership who's already in the membership and anyone new gets to attend this live training. It's gonna be live, held in New York City, half-day workshop called How to Live a Miraculous Life. And it's free. It's only free for our Miracle members, but it's valued at $200. And so what happens is it's just $19 a month, this membership. And you can join anytime. You can cancel your membership at any time. There's absolutely no risk in joining. But what we do each year is I want to set the intention for people to stay consistent, be committed, feel like their meditations are cumulative, to feel like they're growing that practice, to feel consistent on their path. And I wanted that for myself, and that's why I created this gorgeous membership and this platform for my members. And we've got thousands of members who have gone through this platform for the last 2 years. They love the membership because they're feeling that support and that guidance. And all the details are on gabbybernstein.com/membership. And you can head over there now. You can learn more about all the details for the free live bonus, for all of the different beats of the things that you get for the Miracle membership. You can see testimonials from our members, and you can really get a sense of what it is that we're offering. And you have just a few days to sign up. We're only keeping the membership open until Thursday the 12th. So Thursday, January 12th is the last day of the membership. And you just have this window. And so, like I said, you can kind of join at any time. There's no risk to you because you can always cancel. And for $19, you're going to get each month, $19, you're going to get the podcast, the meditation, the archived talk, the mantra art, the forum, the quarterly training, the bonus $200 workshop. I mean, even if you're just like, I want that workshop in itself, that's a reason in itself for $19 to join us. To get the workshop, you need to be a member through February to actually attend the workshop. And the workshop's on February 11th. So when you go to gabbybernstein.com/membership, all of the details are there. And I can guarantee that this is going to be the way that you can stick to that change. Remembering that the only resolution that matters is to get to the root cause condition. And so throughout the year in the Miracle membership, I give you Kundalini meditations, I give you Course in Miracles practices, I give you lessons from my books, I give you brand new content that I've never shared before, and I break it down and workshop it with you so that you can continue to heal what's living underneath the patterns that you want to change. And what I have found in the practice of being consistent on my spiritual path is to stay willing every single day and to feel guidance every single day and to have that guidance surrounding me and holding me in a container where I can create long-lasting change. And so I wanted to make it really affordable, really easy, and no risk for people to sign up. And so if you feel like you're similar to this young woman, Sarah, where you start your meditation and you fall off, or you believe in your prayer every day and then you stop praying, or you're practicing non-judgment and you go back to crazy town, join the Miracle membership, because this practice will keep you consistent on your path. It will hold you in your spiritual condition. It will keep you happy. And the way that we create that long-lasting, happy, sustainable shift in our life is through committed practice and through being in a container where we have that relationship to our higher power connecting to us in whatever form that means for us. And so personal growth isn't easy, and it's a lot of work, and it can be more fun, and it can be more simple, and it can be more easy. And so that's why I created this. I wanted to make it simple. And it is my mission as a spiritual teacher to create tools, methods, and messages that expand the spiritual lexicon so you can understand me wherever you are. So if you're brand new to this content, I will meet you where you are. And if you've been on this path forever, I will pick up right where you are. And just to help you and hold you in the container of that change that you want to create in the world. And so all the details are at gabbybernstein.com/membership. And everything's there. We're going to answer questions about it in the chat, and we'll give you some more love and some more guidance. And so I'm going to answer just a few more questions and just give you a recap. And I hope that I'll see you this year in that Miracle membership. I hope that you make that commitment to yourself and really honor that part of you that wants to stay consistent. And when we asked for testimonials from our members, the common theme that we heard was that they love the membership so much because it keeps them in the practice. And it's simple and it's easy and it's fun. And they feel like they don't have to figure it all out anymore. That was my vision. That was my goal. I wanted everybody to feel like I don't have to figure this out anymore. I can stay consistent. I'm not going to fall off my patterns. I'm going to stay consistent with my desire to change. So gabbybernstein.com/membership. And James here is asking, how do I start Kundalini yoga and meditation practice? Well, join the Miracle membership. In the membership, I give many Kundalini yoga and meditation practices. And so those practices are going to be from anything from changing a pattern to shifting your energy to raising your financial abundance. So stick around, because this year I put a lot of Kundalini in these practices. And I will actually, as a member, you can get 50% off of my Kundalini meditation course. So remembering that there's that 50% discount that comes for everybody that's going to the majority of my digital courses. Aaliyah, I feel so alone in my path. I want to find people who are on the same page as me spiritually, but I feel like no one in my area is on my wavelength. How can I find my tribe? Wow, mama. Okay, so that's a big one. And that's something that I think a lot of people feel when they're starting off on these practices. And that's why this new year, I'm so excited to share to any of the existing members and to anyone that's ready to become a member, we added this forum in the platform so that you can, in the forum, you can announce who you are, you can say how you can help other people, how you want to be helped. You can start your own topic in the forum where you can say, I love to talk about mediumship, or I want to talk about eating holistically, and you can begin your own conversation in the forum. But it's our place to start conversation and stay connected. And often what happens in these forums, whether they be Facebook groups or social media networks, is that the friends that we make in these forums become our lifelong friends, even if we've never met them in person. And so that's why we wanted to create a space for you to connect to the community and feel a greater sense of relationship within our network. And so the Miracle membership now has a forum. So go to gabbybernstein.com/membership to check it out. And so this one is the last one. This is from Michael. How can I shift my mindset about money and move ahead financially? I feel very stuck with the job I'm currently in. Well, Michael, we've come to understand by watching this entire webinar that when you're feeling stuck, which were the words that you used, I feel stuck, is because there's a belief system, a core wound that is holding you back from stepping into your change. And so I'm going to recap the steps for you and for everybody right now so that you can remember that the only resolution that matters is not that you quit your job and leave tomorrow, or that you find all these creative ways to make money. It's that you get to the root cause of why you're feeling stuck, my love. And so this is for all of y'all. Let's get to the root cause of why we're feeling stuck, recognizing step one, which is what is the core limiting belief or wound underneath the habit. You all have that written down. Step two, look closely at the behavior and the feelings underneath the pattern. Step three, become willing to heal it. Step four, tap on it. And you can watch this replay when we send it out later today. Tap on it. And step five, forgive who you were in 2016. And healing that part of who you were, letting go of that part of who you were, will allow all the other steps to come into form. And so no matter what it is that you want to change, whether you're like Michael and you want to change your financial situation, or you're like me and you wanted to change your relationship to food, or you're like some of the other questions that came in about addiction, or you're feeling like you want to change your relationship status, whatever it is in your life that you want to change, the only resolution that matters is that you get to the root cause of that condition. I want to support you greater in this practice. I hope that this webinar is something that you can watch over and over. And then to go on with me and continue on your journey with me, I hope you become part of my tribe in the Miracle membership. And in that tribe, you'll feel that connection. You'll get that monthly theme, that podcast, that meditation, that Gabby's greatest hits, the mantra art, you'll get the forum, you'll get the training workshops, you'll get the live event with me on February 11th, that free live event for members. It's valued at $200. You'll get all of these beautiful resources in one place for that monthly membership. And it's super inexpensive, super easy to get in, and super easy to let go if you feel like it's not working for you. So there's no risk in signing up. And my hope is that if you feel like you're ready for that momentum, and you feel like you're ready to create that change this year, you feel like you're really willing to get to the stuff that's underneath those patterns, that you'll say yes to the commitment and the path and the support that's being presented to you in whatever form that comes. Whether it's a Miracle membership, whether it's a yoga studio, or whether it's a teacher or a coach or a therapist, whatever form it comes, I just pray for you to say yes. Because when you say yes to a healing path, there's so much power in that. I have found that when I sign up for a workshop or a seminar or a membership, the second I sign up, I'm like, whew, like there's a relief. Like I don't have to figure it out anymore. And that's one of the common themes that came up for us throughout the membership, was so many people saying, I don't have to figure it out anymore. I'm amazing. Like I've got this guidance around me, and I'm just going to follow the guidance, and following that guidance, I'm going to be shown what to do. And each month, new information is going to come in, and I'm going to feel more and more connected as I continue forward. So my prayer is that you do whatever you are called to do, and you have prayed for healing, because you wouldn't have been led to this webinar today. So I bow to you, I honor you, I'm proud of you, and I pray for you to just say yes to the guidance that you're receiving in whatever form resonates with you. And if you're ready for the membership and want to be part of my tribe, join me at gabbybernstein.com/membership. Get all the details. The link is up here, gabbybernstein.com/membership. And we're just going to flood you with love, support, and guidance as you move into these practices this new year. And I'm so psyched. And again, that bonus, that Live a Miraculous Life workshop is happening in February, will never happen again. And it's free only to members. It's a $200 course that's free to members, and it's live in New York or New York City. And you have between now and Thursday, the 12th, to sign up. So and it's going to be Thursday at midnight Eastern time. So I hope you get the hit to join me and show up for this new year and all that's coming up for you, so that you can truly heal the experiences and feelings and the limitations and the doubt, and step into the greatness of who you are. And I wish you the most beautiful 2017. I hope you love yourself and forgive yourself. Put 16 behind you. And maybe I'll see many of you in my Miracle membership. I love you all. Sat Nam, my friends. Thank you for joining me.